SpaceX versus Blue Origin. Who's winning and why? Governments are no longer the only ones who have access to space. Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin have recently broken through the Earth's highest ceilings to reach for the stars. The recent successes of both SpaceX and Blue Origin are not only the most recent events in a commercial space race that is aiming for space tourism, a return to the moon, and missions to Mars and beyond. SpaceX versus Blue Origin. Who's going to come out on top? How are SpaceX and Blue Origin stacking up against each other? You'll find out in this video. Ensure you watch to the end. Welcome to Unlimited SpaceX, your favorite channel. Don't forget to subscribe now with all the notifications on, and like this video for more SpaceX, Starlink, NASA, Tesla videos, and everything that revolves around Elon Musk. Let's get started. The founding of Blue Origin at the turn of the century was like the starting point for the modern commercial space race. It was founded in 2000 by Jeff Bezos, former CEO of Amazon and one of the world's richest people, with the goal of making space travel more affordable and accessible to a larger, though still relatively small and extremely wealthy segment of humanity. One of the reasons space travel is so expensive is because of the use of single-use launch systems, which Blue Origin aims to reduce by developing reusable rockets. Since its inception in 1997, Blue Origin has emerged from the shadows with a series of successful product launches. Even though the company had a sluggish start, its growth over the years is spectacular. Meanwhile, SpaceX was founded by Elon Musk in 2002, and Elon Musk has made a name for himself as the face of numerous technology companies, including Tesla, PayPal, and The Boring Company, in addition to SpaceX. Even Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark is said to have been inspired by Elon Musk. Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, founded SpaceX to make space travel more affordable through innovations such as reusable rockets. For Elon Musk, it's all about Mars colonization, and he hasn't tried to hide it from anyone. From developing a variety of rockets, a crew delivery craft, and working with NASA on a variety of missions, SpaceX has made rapid progress into space over the past 2 decades. By now, SpaceX has established itself as a major player in commercial space activities. In 2021, they set a new record with 31 launches, many of which were in support of the company's Starlink satellite broadband program. The first test flights of the Falcon 1 were accomplished just 4 years after SpaceX was founded. A gasoline leak sparked a fire, and the aircraft eventually failed, ending the mission prematurely. In 2008, the Falcon 1 successfully made it into orbit after 2 more unsuccessful test flights. The Falcon 1 was swiftly replaced by SpaceX's real workhorse, the Falcon 9. After this successful flight provided proof of concept for the company's flight capabilities. In addition to the Falcon Heavy's moniker, both rockets have the name of the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars films. The rocket's first stage is powered by 9 Merlin engines, and the numerical designation in the name relates to this. A NASA contract helped fund the rocket's development to carry out missions to the International Space Station. This first successful mission was followed by more than 80 flights, making SpaceX a major player in the modern spaceflight industry. 2 years after the first Falcon 9 liftoff from Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex 40, the Dragon capsule blasted off to the International Space Station. Commercial spaceflight had a historic first when the Dragon spacecraft became the first private vehicle to ever connect with the ISS. However, only 1,200 pounds of cargo were transported on this first mission. This included food and clothing for the astronauts in orbit, as well as student-designed experiments. A decade after this historic first, SpaceX has delivered 24 cargo deliveries to the ISS, with the 25th scheduled for May 2022, almost exactly 10 years later. Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket was launched from its launch site in Texas on April 29, 2015, after nearly 15 years of near total secrecy. And despite a major hiccup, the Alan Shepard-named rocket managed to reach a height of 307,000 feet before launching back to Earth. Because of the loss of hydraulic pressure, the rocket's propulsion module was destroyed. This isn't considered a failure in and of itself. It had not been the common practice up to that point to recover propulsion systems, but Blue Origin had built their system with the recovery of propulsion module as a primary goal. Despite the loss of the module, the flight was deemed a success by Blue Origin and marked the beginning of the company's most public phase. Suborbital flights with a crew could be a few years away, according to the company after the test flight. 5 years later, that prediction came true. To this point, SpaceX and Blue Origin had been in a race to be the first to recover a rocket for reuse. Despite all the attention paid to SpaceX's reusable Dragon 9 rockets, Blue Origin was the first to do it. SpaceX, maybe inspired by the publicity Blue Origin was receiving, quickly followed suit. The first stage of the Falcon 9 rocket was successfully recovered less than a month later, on December 21, 2015. By allowing boosters to be reused more than once, these two flights marked a significant milestone for both companies in their quest for more affordable and reliable space flights. Reusing Falcon 9 rockets is thought to save 21% of the total launch cost. Since their initial focus was on suborbital flights, Blue Origin now has aspirations that extend much higher into space. The Blue Moon lunar lander was unveiled in 2019 by Jeff Bezos, who had been working on the project for 3 years at the time. Jeff Bezos showed off a full-scale mock-up of the craft, which could be used for unmanned missions to deliver cargo to the lunar surface, such as lunar rovers or experimental payloads. During NASA's upcoming Artemis missions, a larger and pressurized version could be used to transport astronauts. 2020 saw the award of a $579 million contract to Blue Origin and its partners for the development of a human landing mechanism on the moon. Rather than building a ship, this contract was used to do exploratory research. However, Blue Origin was not entrusted with the task of landing the next group of humans on the moon. Artemis missions will use SpaceX, selected by NASA, to build a human landing mechanism. SpaceX has successfully launched several operational crewed trips to the ISS with larger crews since 2020. In addition to successfully launching and reusing rockets, SpaceX has demonstrated that they can also use rockets to transport astronauts. Humans will be transported to the Moon, Mars, and other parts of our solar system by SpaceX's Starship spacecraft, which will be launched by their Super Heavy rockets. Reusable Falcon 9 rockets are a model for the design of Starship, which is designed to take off and land safely. They did precisely that in May of 2021. Launched from the launch pad, SN-15 climbed up more than 6 miles into the sky and landed safely. A successfully crewed launch in July 2021 by Blue Origin fulfilled the company's pledge to fly humans into suborbital space. At around 9 a.m., their New Shepard spaceship blasted off from the company's launch pad in Texas. For commercial flights, SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft had proven successful, but it was also built to transport trained astronauts to the International Space Station. On September 15, 2021, the crew of the Inspiration 4 spacecraft blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 3 days into its mission, Inspiration 4 became the first civilian manned orbital mission. Over the course of the 3-day journey, the astronauts flew 364 miles above the Earth's surface in an orbit before safely returning to Earth. Do we have a verdict according to each success and failure so far? Despite the 2-year head start that Blue Origin had, SpaceX was able to establish its mark in commercial spaceflight by fast ramping up and making a reputation for itself. For a time, it appeared that Blue Origin and SpaceX were on separate tracks, with Blue Origin focusing on space tourism, while SpaceX was more interested in exploration from the get-go. It's no secret that both businesses are capable of taking humans off the ground and safely returning them to Earth. That's the sole metric that matters when evaluating the success of a space program in any way. However, Blue Origin has fewer missions than SpaceX, although the latter has regular trips to the ISS where they both bring crew and cargo. With SpaceX's recent declaration that they'll participate in the next Artemis missions, it looks like they've cemented their lead above Blue Origin for the time being. Getting humans on the ground is the most important thing we learned from the previous space race. But all things considered, we're actually the winners, because it was ultimately a result of this competition that spaceflight has become more accessible and less expensive. Between SpaceX and Blue Origin, who do you think is winning? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's all for today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button for more videos. See you soon!